Hello, welcome again. We are covering the subject heat transfer for civil services mains, IFS and various gate exam. Now we'll start next chapter in the subject, that is your convection. Convection or thermal convection occurs due to the temperature difference between a solid and a fluid which is passing over it. So that is convection. So in convection, the essential thing is circulation or mixing of fluid maybe, or which may be fluid can be either gas, liquid, or solid substance. Circulation means when the fluid is cold, then it comes in contact with the heated surface and gets heated. And now, when it gets heated, then new fluid or new lump of fluid should come in contact with this heated surface so that uh, a continuous process can be maintained. So it means circulation of fluid or mixing of fluid is essential in convection because the heat transfer takes place due to the motion of the fluid. Okay. So that convection or heat convective heat transfer is given by Newton's law of cooling. According to Newton's law of cooling, Q is HATS minus TF. H is convective heat transfer coefficient. A is area of surface in contact with fluid. Ts is surface temperature of solid, and Tf is temperature of fluid. So there are two types of convection. First is your free convection and second is forced convection. So in free convection, no external force is applied to make circulation of fluid. The fluid circulates automatically. Suppose this is your fluid. When this fluid gets heated, then the warm fluid will go upward and cold fluid will go downward, and it will come in contact with this heated surface. Okay. So circulation is, and this process will go on and on. So this uh, process is called free convection. So reading this out, in free convection, circulation of bulk fluid motion is caused by changes in density resulting from temperature gradient between the solid surface and main mass of the fluid. So when this fluid gets heated, its density decreases, so it goes up, and the heavier fluid goes down and comes in contact with this solid surface for heating. Next point is the circulation pattern: upward movement of the warm fluid and downward movement of the cold fluid is called convection current. So this is called convection current. These currents are set up naturally due to gravity alone and are responsible for free convection because this cold fluid is heavier, so it will come down due to gravity, and warm fluid is lighter, so it will go up. So this is natural phenomena. That's why it is called free convection. Okay. Next, second type of convection is forced convection. In forced convection, the fluid is forced to come in contact with the heated surface. So this is your pipe, and in pipe we are pumping water so that it come in contact with the heated surface and get heated. So the circulation is provided by this pump. Okay. So this is your forced circulation. When pump or external device is used for circulating the fluid, then it is forced convection. When it is natural flow of fluid due to density difference, then it is your free convection. So next definition in the chapter is laminar and turbulent flow. So laminar flow, in laminar flow, the fluid particle move in a unmixing pattern like this, and it is continuous path, whereas in turbulent flow it is zigzag path, that we have studied in fluid mechanics also. So in inter so to differentiate laminar flow and turbulent flow, Reynolds number is used. So for internal flow like pipe, the Reynolds number is rho V d by B. If pipe is circular, d is diameter. If it is non-circular, then it is equivalent diameter. V is velocity, rho is density, mu is viscosity. For laminar flow, Reynolds number for flow, internal flow and for laminar flow, the Reynolds number should be less than 2000. And for a transient flow in between laminar and turbulent, the Reynolds number should be 2000 to 4000. And for turbulent flow, the Reynolds number should be greater than 4000. Okay, if the pipe is circular, then diameter is equivalent diameter is d. But if it is not circular, then diameter is calculated like this: 4 into cross-sectional area of flow divided by metric perimeter. Okay, and this is the criteria for laminar, turbulent, and transient flow. So for external flow, like over a flat plate, the Reynolds number is given by rho v L by mu, where L is the length of the plate, or we can say distance from the edge of the plate. If we use x here, then it is distance from the edge of the plate. If we use full length, then it is length of the plate. So for laminar flow over plate, RE Reynolds number should be less than 5 into 10 power 5 for external flow. For internal flow it was 2000. For external flow it is 5 into 10 power 5. And for transitional flow, the Reynolds number should be between 5 into 10 power 5 to 3 into 10 power 6. And for turbulent flow, the Reynolds number should be greater than 3 into 10 power 6.